Hi, y'all. Welcome. Keri Stevens here. Today, we're going to talk about learning. Now, a lot of times up until this point in your life, you have been taught to memorize things like this list of the sales process, and then you're given a test and you regurgitate those definitions that you have perfectly memorized, right? You're probably pretty good at it by now. This type of learning that we experience in this class is a little different. It's called synthesis learning, and what I am asking you to do is you still memorize material, but you're actually pulling in information from lots of different places, and your ultimate goal is to be able to create something new that pulls all of that together. Now, let me walk you through what that process looks like in this class, and I'll apply it to our overall project that we do throughout the whole semester. So the first thing that we actually do is you'll come in and you'll start gathering background information. Okay? Now what will happen is you will do a little bit of research and you get to actually choose what company you want to join for the semester. And then all semester you'll actually pretend that you're working for that company. The next thing that happens is all of your colleagues are also doing this same process. And what I will ask you to do is you actually will get to choose that topic, and I will put you together, the company that you're working for, the product you're going to serve, and you're going to get to meet your colleagues. So you'll be on a team, okay? So that is your team when you will meet your colleagues. And you will begin what's called prospecting. Another word for prospecting is you're going to figure out who can be a potential customer for you. And the nice thing about synthesis learning is I'll give you the flexibility to choose your customer. And as a team, you will make those usually pretty fun decisions. The next thing that happens is you're going to be doing a bunch of research. For you to figure out who you want to sell to, details about the company, research is absolutely essential. And as a team, you'll all be doing your research, you'll pool it together, and you'll get to make some of these decisions. And what happens at that point is you get to make choice, you get to choose what you're going to sell and your customer. Okay? All right, so you've done your research. The next thing that you're going to get to do is you're going to get to call, yes, actually make a telephone call to that customer. And to be able to do that, you need to do a couple of things. You need to prepare for that call. And then you actually get to write a script. So go ahead right now and start cringing and go, oh gosh, I don't want to write one of those cheesy scripts that people call me always at dinner, right? I'm going to teach you how to put together content in a very professional selling environment where you call people who want to hear from you and you have professional conversations. The nice thing is that in this class, at the end of your call, you get to make an appointment automatically, part of the process. So once again, you go back and you start preparing. But this time what you're doing is you get to prepare to meet your customer face to face. So what happens at that point is you learn how to ask your customer great questions, and then you actually meet that customer face to face with your team. So far we've done a bunch of research, we've called our customer, we've gotten an appointment, and we have prepared to actually meet that customer face to face, and then we're going to meet them. Now, what happens when we meet them is not everything's going to go great. The customer's going to have questions. You're going to get to learn to handle objections. You're going to get to close. Actually, you're going to get to trial close, which is ask them if you've handled their objections properly, which is also back to this sales process that you see here. And ultimately, what's going to happen is if you have done what I'm going to refer to as tailoring, you're going to tailor your questions for that specific customer. If you have done that tailoring, then you get really great, rich information that feeds you immediately into the next step, which is your final presentation. Okay? So you get to give a presentation to your customer at the end. Your team actually presents. What tends to happen usually is in real sales calls is once you meet face-to-face right at this step, this is actually all happening in a single visit. Now, I have found through years of training and working with salespeople that this is kind of hard to figure out how to do. So in this class, I break it into steps. You get to practice handling objections, you get to practice asking questions, then you put it all together in that final presentation. Now, what you will notice is I have deliberately done a fair number of squiggly lines throughout this process of us doing this big major project. Well, there's a reason for that. There is a lot of uncertainty that you will feel when you engage in synthesis learning. It's not an easy process, but it's a very real process, and it's great training for what you will do for the rest of your life. You get to pull all this content together from disparate places, and over time, you are synthesizing this information. I think you'll actually enjoy the process. And my tip for if you're ever feeling frustrated, of course, you can always come ask me questions, but you can also reread the assignment. A lot of my students have told me that when they reread the assignment, not once, but like 2 or 3 times, then all this process became much clearer, and they felt a lot more confident about the fact that I'm not giving you the answers. You're actually creating and crafting your own path in synthesis learning. But the great thing is you're going to be prepared for this in the future. And I'm always thrilled at the end of the semester because the teams will give presentations that will just blow us all away. And so I look forward whenever I talk about this process because I know how good you're going to be at the end of the semester. Just work with me and realize synthesis learning has a bunch of bumps along the way. Go with it. I think you'll be really, really happy with the end product you produce in the class. Thank you so much.